What kind of guidance do you provide for your students around to submit an SAT score or not?
I think you have to look at it in two different categories. You have to look at it the more selective schools, the single digit acceptances, or the schools that accept less than 25% versus the ones that are 70% or higher acceptances, right? So I'm going to first talk about the more selective schools, and that we are seeing that, and there have been research that's done when you put together SAT and a GPA, it is a higher prediction of college success when I'm reviewing. Each one alone is not necessarily. So for those higher, more selective schools are not showing the same results, but together they make a difference. And there's a reason why, mainly because every high school has a different profile in our world of admissions. As a reader, we can see how many students from your high school have graduated and gone on to 4-year institutions, how many have gone on to 2-year institutions. And so if you're at a rural school where not as many, maybe 50% go on to college, and your SAT is X, that looks really good because it's the highest SAT at that school. But that SAT, let's say 1200, is not the highest at a school, obviously, where they have more resources and have an acceptance or like a 99% acceptance rate into colleges. So the SATs can help in that case for that student who still has a straight A's there to give us a little bit more balance of can they be successful at our very intense academic school. And so we tend to look at the SATs different based on the high school profile. So that also being said, 80% of schools are still accepting the test optional option for students. So those schools that are test optional, I also say it depends on whether you send your SATs. I still encourage students to take SATs, even though the schools are test optional, to see where they fall, because many of my students will send their SAT score to a certain amount of schools on their list of 12 schools, and other schools not send it all, because we look and see how it falls within their average SAT range and determine based on that. And then the other factors too. It's a holistic review. So they're looking at their GPA and their story they're sharing and their guidance recommendations and teacher recommendations. But the key is SATs or ACTs are playing a bigger role now that they're coming back with the more selective schools in terms of making a positive outcome for a student that's applying.